Explosions light up Ukraine's eastern sky as Putin launches his most aggressive summer offensive yet. Entire cities are under siege. Western aid is stalling. NATO is watching and waiting. What's really happening on the ground? And could this be Putin's final gamble or a chilling prelude to something worse? As the world turns away, Russia is turning up the heat. This isn't just war. It's a global test of will, and the next chapter has already begun. Russia has launched a major offensive on Ukraine's eastern front, with fresh troop deployments near Kharkiv and deeper pushes into Donbas territory. New armored brigades have rolled into position backed by artillery batteries and missile systems. On top of that, Russian forces are unleashing drone swarms, launching kamikaze-style attacks, and pounding defensive lines with precision artillery. Ukrainian reports describe towns under continuous bombardment, with schools and residential areas now within range. The Ukrainian military has confirmed multiple missile strikes on strategic positions, and intelligence sources warn that Russian drones are pivoting to autonomous targeting. In response, thousands of civilians are evacuating frontline communities, fleeing in shaky convoys as towns disappear beneath smoke and rubble, forcing another wave of displacement and human tragedy. Summer offers clear skies, dry terrain, and ideal conditions for Russia's drone and ground operations. It's a tactical window where mobility increases, visibility improves, and supply lines run smoother. But timing isn't just military, it's political. With Russian elections approaching, Putin needs a visible win to reinforce his image at home. Meanwhile, Ukraine is feeling the strain. Western military aid is arriving slowly, and frontline troops are stretched thin across multiple regions. Ammunition shortages are growing and defensive lines are under pressure. Russia sees this moment as a rare convergence: military opportunity, political necessity, and Ukrainian vulnerability, all aligning for a decisive strike. Putin's goal goes far beyond battlefield gains. This summer offensive is designed to create enough pressure to push Ukraine toward negotiations on Russia's terms. By capturing territory and escalating attacks, the Kremlin hopes to wear down both Ukraine's resistance and the West's resolve. It's also a test for NATO. The more intense the fighting becomes, the more the alliance is forced to decide how far it's willing to go without crossing into direct conflict. Long-term, Russia's strategy is to fracture European unity. By prolonging the war and fueling political fatigue, Putin aims to isolate Ukraine diplomatically, weaken its military over time, and re-establish Russian influence over its former Soviet neighbors. This isn't just war, it's a calculated, multi-level campaign. Ukraine isn't standing still. President Zelensky is urgently appealing to Western allies for more weapons, air defense systems, long-range artillery, ammunition to match Russia's growing firepower. On the battlefield, Ukrainian forces are digging in deeper, bolstering trenches, fortifying key positions, and shifting defense lines to stretch Russian supply routes thin. They're also deploying drones for reconnaissance and targeted strikes on tank columns. Though resupply remains a challenge and ammunition stocks are under pressure, morale on the ground remains resilient. Troops draw strength from defending their homes and families. Even in the face of bombardment and shortages, their resolve remains unwavering. President Zelensky is out in full force, pressing Western allies for additional weapons, especially air defenses, long-range artillery, and ammunition essential to counter Russia's firepower. On the battlefield, defense lines are being reshaped, trenches are deepened and reinforced with earthworks and concrete barriers. Drones play a growing role, scouting enemy movements and guiding precision strikes on armored column. Despite relentless shelling and logistical hurdles, troop morale is holding firm. Soldiers often cite their friends and families as motivation to stand firm. Supply bottlenecks persist, but even under strain, Ukraine's forces are adapting, buying time, holding ground and proving they can endure whatever comes. This offensive looks different from earlier ones. Russia is hitting harder and smarter, focusing on critical infrastructure, striking power stations, railways, and communication hubs with precision. These attacks aim to cripple Ukraine's logistics and morale. Following Wagner's collapse, the Russian military has restructured command, giving more control to formal army leadership and tightening coordination across units. Instead of pushing in one direction, Russia is applying pressure on multiple fronts at once, Kharkiv, Donbas, and southern regions, forcing Ukraine to spread its forces thin. This multi-axis strategy is designed to overwhelm defenses, break lines, and keep Kyiv guessing where the next major blow will fall. NATO is walking a tightrope. Member states continue to send aid, but behind the scenes there's growing anxiety about provoking a wider war. Leaders fear that a misstep could draw NATO into direct conflict with Russia. Internal divisions make unity harder. Hungary often stalls decisions, and Turkey balances its NATO role with regional ambitions. The alliance faces a quiet, unresolved question: how far should support go? Is it enough to back Ukraine with weapons, or is the cost of staying out becoming greater than the risk of stepping in? Putin's gamble is massive. By launching this summer offensive, he risks overextending Russian forces already strained by casualties and equipment losses. A failed campaign could spark domestic backlash, especially if losses mount with no clear victory. But the reward is tempting. If he succeeds, he gains leverage in future peace talks and a chance to redraw Europe's borders in Russia's favor. He's betting that Ukraine's defenses will buckle and that the West will hesitate. Whether that bet pays off could reshape the continent for decades. This offensive has global shockwave. As Russian forces disrupt Ukrainian grain routes and energy exports, countries across Africa and Asia face rising food and fuel costs. Another wave of refugees is already moving westward, adding pressure to Poland, Romania, and other frontline nations. If Russia gains significant ground, it could embolden other authoritarian regimes, weakening Western influence and altering global power dynamics. This isn't just Ukraine's fight, it's a fault line that could reshape alliances, economies, and the world's balance of power. Is this war being won by bombs or lost by silence? While missiles fall and lives are shattered, much of the world looks away. But the cost of ignoring what's unfolding in Ukraine could ripple far beyond its borders. Energy, security, food, freedom, it's all on the line. If we turn our backs now, we may all pay later. Don't rely on headlines alone. Subscribe, stay alert, and follow the full story. Because the truth isn't just what's reported, it's what's left out. And right now, too much is being left out.